All right, so this is the new boat. It's been sitting down here for a while, so it's not the cleanest, but let's go through it, go through the design and what I put on it. So I'm not 100% done with it. The storage inside the hulls I still have to work on, but whole thing is fiberglass construction out of molds, white gel coat, and then I just went with a non-skid on the deck, very easy to clean. And so looking at the very front of each hull, you can see that there's a very significant reverse chine there, and that keeps this thing super dry. It gets wider and bigger obviously the further you go back, but yeah, I've been really happy with just getting absolutely no spray when you're on the boat. So real quick, measurement wise, length we're at 11 feet and then beam 50 inches. I found 11 feet to be like the shortest practical length for this type of design. Any shorter and you start to risk you know, the front really digging in, especially in like following waves, that type of stuff. But yeah, that's the dimensions, pretty small, but because we're going with a catamaran, super stable. So obviously I got an 8 horsepower on this. This is a great motor size for this boat. And then 2.5 gallon tank here. I just have it temporarily bungeed. I really need to strap it down, but a Yeti for storage, seat, also a standing platform because it's very stable to stand up on there and fly fish. A grab bar, a couple rod holders on that, and then moving forward I got a trolling motor here as well. So taking a closer look at the trolling setup, this mount is removable, just comes off with 4 bolts. So if you don't want this, you can just pop it right off, and it's a nice clean front to the boat. And there's also quick connects here, and these clamshells run the wiring down through the hull all the way to the back where the batteries are. So just trying to keep everything clean. And I got the same thing on the other side, so we're running 2 small batteries in parallel just to keep the weight nice and balanced. And so on some further videos when we're on the water, I'll show you. But what's awesome is these hulls, just with the volume that's in them, you can like actually stand all the way out here, and this isn't, you know, under the water or anything. So like all this is actual usable space, and it's, again, because of that cat design, it's stable. You can put your feet right up on the edge and the boat doesn't feel like it's tipping over at all. So it's a very stable platform, and that's what this whole area up front is for. Once the trolling motor is down, it's just a nice pad to be able to walk around, cast, do what you're doing. Or if you want to be standing up here to fly cast, this is also great as well. Super stable. So just kind of a bird's eye view looking up towards the front. Trolling setup, grab bar, this thing's awesome. And then your seat, our 2 storage hatches, and then our motor and gas. So in addition to, you know, having this whole cooler for storage, I put in these 2 massive hatches here. These are by Tempest. They're okay. I'm gonna put some extra sealant just to make them even better. But these entire hulls are hollow, and these are where I'm unfinished, so please excuse the mess. But yeah, we got life jacket storage, batteries. I'm still experimenting with where I want these to be. So these are actually not mounted down at all. But yeah, so there's 2 of these. The wires, they run through the clamshells like we talked about, and I mean there's just storage all the way up under there. I got a rag and whatnot, but yeah, I need to like actually put the wires in a proper spot and get everything squared out in these hatches. So just poking through, again, unfinished, so excuse the mess. But you can actually fit up to 8-foot rods, actually probably even longer, and they come out pretty easily because of all the space. So I'm working on some rod holders that are going to hold the rods nice and tight up against the sides of the hulls. So hopefully I'll be able to get, or I know I'll be able to get at least 2 rods in each hull, which is more than I need. And for my fly rods, you know, it's only 11 feet. So you're actually, with a 2-piece or a 4-piece fly rod, all you have to do is just break one of the pieces, and then you can fold it and get it to fit in there. Yeah, these are the insides. And again, here's that other battery, still working on the back and forth, so it's just kind of free floating around. But that was a big thing going through with this design, was to have these 2 hatches there, so you can store everything: life jackets, extra gas, rods, safety equipment. Everything you need is down and under there, and there's just so much storage. I mean, those go all the way. You can have stuff all the way up and under here if you want. So you get a nice clean deck. And again, there's even still room in the Yeti for whatever you want. And you could even put a bucket or whatever you want, just kind of bungeed to the grab bar there. And so taking a look at the back here, you can see we have our 2 pontoons, and then there's this third. It's not really it's a little mini pontoon, I guess. It just deflects the water hitting the skeg of the motor, and that actually took me a long time to get the right shape, the right height, the right depth, and all that to get it to perform pretty well, because without this, quite frankly, this boat, it doesn't really perform all that well. But once I nailed down this design, I mean, it was night and day as to how this boat performs. So that just deflects the water to keep the ventilation plate kind of sitting at the right height with the stream of water flowing out the back. So yeah, that's just a quick kind of stationary view of the little micro skiff I got going here. And again, I went a little overboard and built all the molds and whatnot. So I have materials on hand. If somebody wants one, I'll crank one out for them. It's just been a really fun little boat, and it has all the features you need to like actually use it as a boat.